Hey guys, welcome back to some Raid Shadow Legends. Today's video is going to be a pretty rough one because we're going to do our fusion and we're going to use War Maiden. Now, War Maiden was a champion that we got really early, built her up a little bit. We even got lucky to pull one of her souls, but I'm going to have to use her for food. So I went in the campaign and I went through here and tried it time and time again to farm up a copy of the War Maiden, which is right here. Unfortunately, we were not able to. So when and if I get another copy of the War Maiden, we'll actually be able to use her. I did pull Deacon. So Deacon does have this same big defense decrease buff that we have in here. This has a little bit higher, but overall having the epic versus having the rare, and I do not recommend anyone to do this. Save your copies of War Maiden. Make sure that you're getting them in there. But again, I've spent a significant amount of time. And the reason why we want to do this is looking at the missions. So we are looking to the champion mission and to fuse champions, turn lesser champions into more sought after powerful ones. We've been stuck on this for a number of days, and I think it's really going to be a short-term loss with the War Maiden and being able to actually go ahead and complete this because, again, we have built out everyone. We were trying to get this copy of Harris, which we actually did. We also have the copy right here, as well as War Maiden. Like I said, she's a little bit built up. Now, the gear on her, I'm not really too worried about. I'm not going to spend all of the silver in here. She has garbage gear. I didn't really put her on there. And then we do have the final one in here to fuse. And then, of course, we are looking for Justicar. This is the one that we're trying to build, and it has to be achieved through fusion. So I know once we do fuse this, we're going to have the ability to not only use Justicar, but now we're going to be able to progress with the missions, trying to get Arbiter, trying to get a lot of other champions in here. So this is, boom, the fusion is going to cost 200,000 silver, but there is the fusion in the entirety. First time that we've seen it, so there is our new champion, comes running out, and guys, the 3D effect in here, the way these champions look, Justicar looks absolutely amazing. Want to run through these skills and abilities because I haven't seen them, haven't used them. The one enemy increasing the champion's defense 2% up to 10 times in one round. That's a really big increase. And then increases the champion's defense by 3%, damage based on attack and defense. I think this is the first champion we've seen that actually uses and utilizes both of these in here. Has a 50% chance of placing a provoke debuff on a target. Again, defense and attack. And the last one, comeback. When this champion is hit with a critical hit, counterattack using their default skill, decreasing the buff duration on the target. Overall, not super impressed with him. Maybe this is good faction crypts. I can see that's probably where he's going to be used. I'm just thinking about the skills and abilities that he has as a rare champion, but I'm glad we have him. Now, ultimately, Justicar is one that is going to be used within here when we build him up. We're also building up a copy right here of this champion, trying to get them again kind of built up a little bit higher. These other two we do not have. Sorceress we do not have, and Executor we do not have, and I know these also do come from regular campaign farming, so we're going to have to go in there, going to have to continue up farming some of these. We've already maxed out in its entirety in Brutal, but those are all going to take us into getting Relic Keeper, which is an epic champion. Again, looking in here and looking at kind of who we built, not super impressed with some of these champions. I feel like, the utility, like even here, we got an increased attack. There's a couple champions I have that does that. And then we also do have the heal in here. I do like the heal just for the simple fact that when it comes to a lot of the content, I do not have a very solid support healer that we do have in here. And then this is campaign battles only. Again, knowing that we're literally just farming everything except the nightmare, this isn't going to have a huge impact unless we're going through. But of course, when it comes to the factions and going through that area, it is going to make a big difference in here to build them up. So let's see what we get, guys. So champion mission is done. Let's go ahead and collect these diamonds out of there. Now it starts our new mission, and that also does yield us a sacred shard. I'm wondering, I know we still have the event going on right now, but let's see what we got here. So clear stage 7 on Brutal. Now Brutal we have already cleared, so that is just free rewards. Upgraded champion to 6. We already do have a couple. Clear stage 10 or higher on the Golden Speak. So we can do that one. Then we're going to start farming a lot of energy in there. Win 1 superior arcane potion from stage 10 or higher. Now we've already farmed quite a bit higher than stage 10. So it should be pretty easy. And there the campaign missions are done. So it seems like we're going to have to go through a couple different places. Now these are some that I've actually gotten stuck because When it comes specifically to some of the magic keeps, they're on a rotation to complete them or to unlock them. And you can see there's a couple through here that we have kind of completed these dungeon missions. Now, what I mean by that is when you start looking at the dungeons, some of these are open on Monday, open on Sunday, open on Tuesday. You have to be aware when these are open, when you're going to be able to do this. I actually had one that I had to build up. I believe it was the Magic Keep. Magic Keep was closed, so unfortunately I couldn't do the Magic Keep. It took me another 2 days when it came to building out those missions and not being able to make the progression because I couldn't go in there. Now clear, again, stage 10 on auto, normal, or hard. So we can hop in there, we can hop in the Ice Golem. And I don't like this doesn't, or no, it does take me there. So this is stage 10 and stage 10 only. Let's go a little bit further. Let's go 4, 6. Let's go with, let's say 14. I don't want to take too much time here, but going through here, and again, stage 10, we could just run through here, use really the minimum amount, and you have to pay special attention because it costs different energy levels depending on where you are. I feel like here, again, when we clear this, I don't even know how long ago it's been. I don't farm a lot of the dungeons as it sits right now, but I want to go in here. I don't want to race to kill him. Now, one thing to note is when it comes to some of the modes, when it comes to the Ice Golem is one that is very, very important. It's a slow kill. So when you're going through here, it is kind of a very slow kill in here, where on the flip side of it, you have the Dragon's Lair. The Dragon's Lair is a very, very strong, hard, fast kill. And here, if you're killing him very fast, and you'll see right here, just because I know we're kind of overtuned and geared for this mode, but as we're going through here, at a point, he does a massive AoE when he loses these. So when he drops below 80, 60, 45, 30, and 15, he will go ahead and do that very, very large AoE. And again, on a lower level, not really too worried about it, but this makes a huge difference because if you hit him very hard, it will trigger a bunch of these in a row and end up wiping your entire, see right there, 1, 2, 3. That was 3 massive hits right in a row. That is a way to wipe your party very, very quickly based on the percentage. You can see we already had a couple die in here, and then the freeze buff is up as well. So we get there, we wanted to finish out that piece going through the mission, and we have to do this 10 times. That is the other thing to note, is going through here, we're going to have to farm this out 10 times. Now, again, kind of coinciding, though, is we do have a tournament rate that I believe is the Ice right now. So the Ice Golem is up, so we can farm this higher level of the Ice Golem. Going to make it and be able to give us some points, some rewards in here. In addition, going through the events, going through the Path of Spring, this is another place. As we're farming out the Golem, we're going to get some rewards in the Path of Spring. So there is kind of a double dip in there. And then, of course, out of the portal, we have the 2X events in here. I want to see, we got 2 epic champions last time, and we also got 1 legendary champion. Anytime there's a 2X, I'm going to go ahead and do the summons in here. Getting and building out these champions is imperative for really making the progression. And it looks like another epic in here, which Necro Hunter, 4,500 egg coins in there, and that looks really cool. There are a couple specific factions that I do not have really anyone in. 75% chance of placing Veil buff on this champion, and then Perfect Veil is on this champion for 2 turns. Crit rating, I don't really like the crit rating, again, because the majority of my damage dealers are already at that 100% crit rating. 2 attacks with the defense decrease, that is pretty good right there. 50% chance, you can see right here, 60, 65% chance if I build him all the way up, and then attacks all enemies 1 time if this attack is critical. So overall, pretty good. Again, there's going to be a lot of places where we're using them, starting to fill a couple more teams, but that just brings us 1 pull closer to building out and having some more of those legendary champions in here, and also having the effectiveness of a couple other champions. Now, we also have the daily login rewards, 500 energy. I'm going to save that. No, it went ahead and used it. So we got 500 energy. I'm going to be able to farm a ton out of there. And then this one does give us a couple more resources out of there. We got the shards for the legendary champion. Going to have to build them up. And this champion is actually a pretty decent healer. I was looking at the champion earlier, which is the fragment summon, which is Artor. Now, again, when it comes to support, when it comes to healing overall, increasing the attack right here heals all allies for the max HP. Absolutely going to do that, but fills the turn meters, increasing the attack and strength and buff for allies. And then, of course, we have a couple other skills and abilities, including the arena ability in here. Like I had said earlier, we do not have a lot of champions that have the healing effect in here, so that's going to make a big difference for the account, being able to make a little bit more progression in a lot of different game modes. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.